So we're faced with wars, terror attacks, abusive relationships, and these events are commonly referred to as traumatic events. And people who experience them, some of them go ahead to develop PTSD or what is known as post-traumatic stress disorder. Today, however, I'm on my way to talk to someone who has been through a lot, and the main idea of this is for him to show us what life with PTSD looks like. Let's go.
From witnessing someone around me being shot were all so traumatic for me.
So this Downfall is our small, safe space where we talk about the issues that affect our minds and our bodies, but most importantly, how to heal from them. And I'm joined here by Deji. How did all this start?
My PTSD story is about the EndSARS protest, and I was there that night when the whole shooting started. I tried to find my way into Lekki. I was even caught up. So Lekki was also very chaotic at that time. It was like it was since some people were really brave and bold enough to even stand and still stay, hold their flags while the shooting was going on. They shot consistently for almost 30 minutes. I could see the soldiers shooting. I could see people falling. I could see people moving, trying to rescue other people. And it was just
surrounded by chaos at that point.
It was just chaos at that point. In fact, there was a guy next to me that got shot by soldiers at that time. He came around where I was hiding and he was really screaming.
Right next to you?
Right next to me. At that point, I knew that, I was really lucky to not even have been hit.
What are some of the symptoms that you're experiencing that probably got you to think that, I think I might have post-traumatic stress disorder?
Flashbacks from seeing even like the bullets on the ground, from seeing blood spatters on the floor, from witnessing someone close to me, someone around me being shot, and seeing blood at that time were all so traumatic for me at that time. And I get figures from hearing loud sounds and maybe scared of maybe there's a shooting somewhere.
Most people who living with PTSD tend to feel in danger, especially when they are not. Common symptoms could be flashbacks. Some sounds lead to reliving the event over and over again. For others, they could just tend to avoid situations that make them relive those particular traumatic events. Did it affect your relationship? Did it affect your job, your career? Did it affect your family?
I don't think I'd ever be involved in a protest again. Not to discourage others really, but it won't, for me, it personally won't be worth it for me to be physically at any protest ground. I can do a lot of back-end support, but to be physically present at any protest, I won't be involved. I had to leave Lagos for 2 years. I only just got back because I just couldn't be around this city that I associate that EndSARS massacre with.
So while experts may not know exactly what leads to PTSD, there are some things that could be risk factors for PTSD. And number one is having a family history of mental illness. It could be depression, dementia. For others, it could be little or no support after that traumatic event, which is why we always advocate for having a supportive community around you. The third could be extra stress after a traumatic event. Some people lose their jobs, others lose a loved one, and these things compounding could just tip a person over to having PTSD. What has your recovery journey been like?
The major form of recovery for me is the talk therapy, and that's part of what we are doing now.
One of the very first steps to managing PTSD is cognitive behavioral therapy or psychotherapy with a licensed therapist, right? A professional. It's only when these things don't work or they're not giving the results that are expected, then, the next line of action will probably be prescribed drugs. And if you're watching this, please do not self-medicate. They have to be prescribed. So let's check in with our DW Africa Facebook community. There are really interesting comments right there. And the first one I have is from Victor Ajibade from Lagos in Nigeria, who says we need help in this country. I'm guessing he's referring to Nigeria. People are suffering a lot of trauma, but there is no help or medication. So I think there is help, there is medication. We just need more people to be aware of the help and medication that is available to them. If you're also here and You're struggling with PTSD, there are also some coping mechanisms you could try. Mindfulness, assess your emotions from time to time, take a breather, meditation. Thank you, Deji, for being in our small safe space. Generally, how do you feel now talking about
I
it?
feel a lot better. I feel lighter. Even just talking about it now, I feel lighter.
I'm glad we contributed to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. So that was quite an insightful conversation we've had with Deji. And if you're in the comment section or you know a loved one who could be living with PTSD, I'd encourage you to get support and treatment. Remember to always stay engaged in the comment section to be a part of this exciting conversation.